Action.
Hi, this is Eric the Urban Garden. I'm going to show you my technique on how I like to transplant seeds. I don't know if that sounded right.
I'm ready when you're.
Hi, this is Eric with the Urban Garden. Dave, if you start laughing. So this is Eric with Urban Garden. What are you talking for while I'm trying to talk? This is Urban. No. This is Eric with the Urban Garden.
I don't remember who I am.
Cut. Hey, this is Eric with the Urban Garden, and I'm going to go over my technique on how I seed tomato plants. I like to start off with a 36 tray. I like to use these because, as you can see, it's a really deep root zone, and I can just leave them in there a little bit longer. If you look over here, we've got some bigger count tray cells. They just, once everything leaves up, you know, they'll just be too smashed in there. So that's why I like to go with a little bit bigger ones. They can really root out nicely. You know, I like to use a high quality product. We use Happy Frog from Fox Farm. They do a great job. It's a really good soil. It's really important to start with a good soil. If you start with a kind of an inferior soil, you're not going to get the best results. They can kind of compact and you're not going to get good penetration with your roots, and your watering is going to be really hard. So starting off with a good high quality soil is really key to getting your starts going. So I'll show you how I like to do things. Like I said, I start with a good high quality soil, this Happy Frog, and what we're going to do is just fill in these cells pretty easy. There's going to be excess on top, and that's what we want. We don't want to compact those in. The biggest mistake I see is people come in here and they just jam those in there. It's not what you want. You need those roots to be able to get out there really easily. It's going to make it a lot easier to water also when this is a little bit loose. So what I'll do is just kind of come in here and just wipe this off. I'll just use my hand and come in here and push it down so you can kind of see the tops of those, so you can tell where your containers are, where your individual spaces are. And that's going to make it so you're not going to have a mess when you're transporting these around. We haven't compacted anything too tight, and that should be just right. Now what we'll do after this is water these in, and you'll want to water those in 2 or 3 times. It's kind of hard to get the water to go all the way through. It might look like they're getting wet, but you just want to kind of keep going. You want all those dry pockets out of there. Once that's all completed, then you'll want to let it warm up just a little bit before we put in the tomato seeds. Okay, so I've already done these. I have all these that I filled up with soil, and I soaked them all in and let them sit in the greenhouse for a day. You want something to poke the seed in and a little tray to hold on to the seeds. That way it just makes it easier for you. Now this variety, I've already kind of marked all my trays on which tomato is going to go where. I finished up my black crims and my brandywines, and I'm going to start into the San Marzanos. These are hermetically sealed. These are Botanic Interest. We sell these seeds. These are great seeds. I'm comfortable with putting 1 seed per hole because I do get great germination from these, and I just don't need to worry about it. If you are maybe new to this, first time, obviously you don't need 30 tomato seeds. So put a couple in each hole. It'll give you a little bit better success. Get them all out of there. Yep. I like to put them on a plate because it's easier to pick up and you don't end up dumping a whole bunch in. So you'll remove any of the big chunks. This mix I have here has a few big chunks in there. You just want to grab one at a time, put it right in the middle of each one of those little cells there. There's 6 cells in each one of these. You want to get it in the middle. You don't want your tomato plant clear on the side, because then when you go to transplant it, it'll be all goofy. Sometimes your fingers are too big here, but that's why I got to put them on a plate. This is my specialty tool of the day. This is what I found that's close by. some sort of Allen wrench. So what I do is I just kind of poke the seed down in. Now in the past I have pre-done these holes, but I've noticed that I'll end up getting them just a little bit too deep. They only need to go twice as deep as the seed is wide. So obviously they're not needing to go in there very far. Kind of pull it back over the middle, push it in just a little bit, and then I'll kind of come with my fingers and cover them up. Alright, so as you can see, it is pretty easy to seed some stuff up. They just take a little bit of TLC once you do it. What I like to do once I finish up putting my seeds in here, you can see just the tops of these things have gotten just a little bit dry. We just need to make sure those seeds are nice and moist. So what I'll do is fill up a little sprayer like this full of water, pressurize it, whoa, that's a little bit much of a spray. Alright, then I'll kind of come back through. I don't want to disturb the seeds in there, but I just want to get the tops all wet. That way they're not drying out and we can get the germination going. That's why I like to use this type of sprayer, is it doesn't disturb that soil. When I go through and spray it with like a hose, who knows where that seed's going to go. It'll just displace it and go everywhere. So I found this to be the best technique for getting those to sprout. Once they sprout, I'll sure go ahead and use a watering can. But until then, I like to use a little bit of a sprayer and just keep the tops moist until you see them pop up. So we often get the question of, do I need to fertilize these when I'm planting them? And the answer is no. The seed has a built-in endosperm which breaks down and sends the root out. It's already like a little food capsule prepared with the seed. That's nature's way there. And this soil does have some fertilizer content to it, so I'm not going to fertilize these until I see true leaves. You'll see a first cotyledon leaves, and we'll do a video on that when they start popping out. And then the true leaves come out and you'll see the serrations on the tips of those. Once those start to become fully mature, then is when I'll start adding just a little bit of fertilizer. So that's it on these guys. It's pretty easy. These will be for purchase when they're about a foot tall. What I'll do from here, once they start rooting in and I can see the roots through the bottom, I'll put them into a 1-gallon container and then let those root out, and then they'll be ready for purchase. So they've got a long ways to go yet, but under the right conditions, we should be ready in right about a month. So it really is that easy to plant up your seeds. A lot of people overthink it. Don't worry, you can do it. It's pretty easy. Yep. Even a 2-year-old could do it. Well, maybe not quite that much. This is Eric with Urban Garden. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.